Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all the camera folks and crew, welcome to episode number 113 of the show right here on Shaw TV. My name is Matt Carter. Great show for you. Right behind my shoulder, our musical guest, Mr. Jayden Holman, who's a country rock artist from Nanaimo, making incredible waves for a number of years now. We'll get a chance to chat with him, find out more about his upcoming shows and his music over the course of the hour. Also with music, we're very pleased to welcome the Nanaimo Youth Choir to the studio. They've got a pretty incredible performance coming up in June that you are definitely going to want to hear about, so stick around for that. Now Lewis, who I believe sings in a mighty baritone, he'll be speaking with choir founder and director Marion Smith, and we might just get a song from the choir as well. Now Lewis, he's also going to find out more about the 12th annual Charity Golf Classic Tournament at Cottonwood Golf Course. This is a tournament in support of the Salvation Army. Envoy Dawn Anderson, who's the fundraising and promotions coordinator for the Salvation Army in Nanaimo and does all sorts of great work here in Central Vancouver Island. She's going to speak with Lewis about how you can hit the greens and make a difference. All right, we also have another exercise segment from our fitness guru, Kasey Scott. And this time she's breaking all sorts of labor rules and labor codes by bringing in children, some of them her own to be quite honest, talking about exercise for youth outside of team sports. So we're very stoked to have Kasey along with Cameron, Callie, and Cole here. Not to be confused with Donnie, Danny, Joey, Jordan, and Jonathan. And if you get that reference, thank you very much for hanging tough. All right, now Shea, she's going to speak with Maggie Denhearn, who's a North Island College learning facilitator by day, but a debut author by dark and stormy night. So we're going to find out more about her first book called When the Universe Called. And I, for one, agree that When the Universe Texted is maybe more modern, but just doesn't have quite the same ring to it. We're going to transition after that from words into visual art, starting with a look at the Nanaimo Fine Art Show. This is a juried show and art celebration happening in June. Artist and president of the Nanaimo chapter of the Federation of Canadian Artists, Tom Shardlow, he's going to be here in the studio along with artist Claudia Lohman. We'll see some of their works as well. Now, an artist in her own right, Kate Bergen. She's going to speak with Dennis McMahon of the Harbour City Photography Club. Not to be confused with Vince McMahon, who's probably caught in a chokehold somewhere or yelling obscenities at Hulk Hogan. Anyways, they're going to talk about the club's upcoming photo salon, which is also a juried show. So get ready to find out how you can see some of the best works from the Nanaimo photographers. But first, I am really super stoked to welcome back one of our previous hosts and also our all-time guest here on the show. We're going to talk about a top-notch food and beverage event coming up in Nanaimo. So sit right down. We're going to town. It's the show right here on Shaw TV. Alrighty, after our fancy dancing there after the intro, welcome back. Absolutely surrounded by some incredible food and beverage here, and also with one of my favorite guests, one of the great folks here in Nanaimo, Kim Plumbly. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Matt. I'm glad to be here and glad to see everybody and have fun.
Oh, exactly. You've done such great work here in the show, but you know what? You do great work on TV, great work in the community, and you do some work with the Chamber of Commerce. So just a little bit of context, what sort of work do you do with the Chamber of Commerce?
I work with the Chamber of Commerce. I do, what does it say? Membership sales and support. So I get to work with our membership. I get to engage, and I'm excited about all that our members do. And yeah, so that's great fun for me.
And obviously with that, you get to be involved in a lot of the events the Chamber of Commerce puts on,
Absolutely.
including this event we're talking about today, an event called Feastival.
Feastival, and we had one in September. It went unbelievable. So we're now putting one up in June, and we're going to kick off things. We have so many amazing people coming, amazing vendors coming. We have drinks, we've got cheese, it's crazy land.
I definitely have noticed the drinks.
Yeah, I know you.
And speaking of drinks, actually now, I know in the past, Feastival has been a one-day event.
Yes.
This year, 2 days. I imagine to accommodate more events and happening.
Yes.
So tell us a bit about the first day on Friday, June 17th, called Sips at Feastival. What's the deal there?
Sips is going to be sort of, we're going to be talking about different distilleries that are local. We've got breweries that are local. We're going to have a brewery challenge, and that's going to be really fun. So we're going to get people to come out, and you're going to get 5 tickets. I think it's $39, and you're going to get your tickets, and you get to sample some great local alcohol. It's going to be really fun.
I know, looking at the list too, I'm talking to Sean, gentleman involved with putting this on. Now, the Kinsmen put on a great Nanaimo Beer Fest every year too, a great fundraiser as well. And with this, I just know from the list, they sort of really brought the bar up with the folks to be there. So Four Winds Brewing out of Delta, Canadian Brewery of the Year is going to be there. Driftwood Brewing, just some of the top breweries, and one of the breweries in BC. But also, we see in front of us here again some Longwood beer, some Wolf Brewing as well. So
and we've got wines too, and we've got Chateau Wolf. I'm really excited that our Arbutus Distillery is coming because I absolutely love their work, and I just love the ideas of how people are creating and building things on their own. It's really exciting.
And why is it important to support local and artisan food producers?
That's our future. you know, that is part of us, and we are excited. We get to see people create. We get to see art. We get to see this. We get to see food. We get to see alcohol being created. It's very magical. These minds of people are pretty fun.
Exactly. Now, as much as I tried to talk to the program manager about doing some sampling on air, we can't do that, but well, maybe off air. Yeah. But let's talk about the day 2 now. So again, we go from the sips on the Friday evening and Saturday during the day. A whole bunch of stuff's happening.
Man, I
Drop
can't.
it down for us.
Feastival is an insanity. It's a day of incredible things. So we have guest chefs. We've got, where am I showing? Hello. So this is one of our guest chefs. This is Angelo, and he's going to be talking about honey, and I talked to him today. Great recipes coming up. We've got Karen Barnaby coming. She is a writer, a food writer for Vancouver Sun. She had the Fish House in Stanley Park. She's incredible. We've got Daniel and Tammy from Two Chefs of Modern Affair. They're going to be doing a segment, and they've also got Laura Gosnell, and she's from Coast, sorry, I should know that, Coast Fresh, and we're going to talk salmon. We're going to talk salmon. So we're going to have some great fish, we're going to have some desserts, we're going to have some fun, and we're going to learn. We've got Nanaimo Food Share, and they're going to be doing classes for kids, and we're going to have some fun with that.
Oh, like cooking classes sort of thing? So, oh, right
exactly. And so, and then we're going to have a chowder festival.
Now, you know, the Chowder Festival, this is a big one, right?
This
is something
huge.
that folks have been stoked on for a while. But isn't there one organization that sort of keeps winning this? Like
the Bold Knight takes the challenge every year. But I tell you, there's a few people who are going in, and they're going to take that sword and pull it out. We're going to see how that goes. It's going to be fun. And we have food trucks. The food trucks is going to be incredible. Again, classes. We've got the guest chefs, we've got food trucks, we have vendors. Now, vendors, people like, of course, Paradise Island Cheese. They're one of our great sponsors, as is VIU. We've got Vancouver Island Conference Center. We've got amazing, amazing people who are coming forward to support this food event.
I was going to say, actually, with obviously some of the food items we have in front of us, maybe just give a quick shout out to some of the highlights.
Those who really love the bread, this is awesome. Totally not, totally not.
All right, second one.
Down we go with the books. That's good. And last year we had Daksha Gourmet Spices in town, and they were doing a cooking class. They loved it so much, they're back again. We're really excited. We have lots of cheese coming for sips. That's going to be fantastic. New York style pizza in the North End is coming, and they're going to talk about their catering. And I don't know if you've ever tasted this, Manhattan.
Awesome. No.
Holy doodle, that's amazing. Like, amazing.
All right, I'm seeing over there, we got to wrap this up. Plus, I got to eat more bread here. So, last thing, again, Feastival, June 17th, 18th, Vancouver Island Conference Center. How can people purchase tickets?
We're going to go to feastival.ca. You're going to just attend that 10 button, and it's going to take you to Eventbrite, and you can find all the happiness there.
All right, thank you so much, Kim, for being here. See you at Feastival. Now, obviously, we love Vancouver Island food. We're sort of preaching to the choir. But now we're going to throw it over to Lewis, who's going to be speaking to a choir. Lewis, over to you.
Thank you, Matt. And got to check out that festival for sure. So tonight I have with me two ladies. I've got Marion Smith and Katrin Hannison, who are on their way to Carnegie Hall in New York City. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you.
Good of you to join me. So Marion, you are not only the director of this choir, you're the founder of this choir. How did this choir get started? Could you tell me?
When I moved to Nanaimo from Calgary, it was 1991, and I realized that there wasn't a children's choir in this city, and that didn't seem right. So I decided I would try to start one. And I've never looked back, because we've had a lot of fun ever since, with many young people coming and taking part, and it's been wonderfully rewarding for me, and I think they enjoy it too. Right, Kat?
Right.
Well, it's been like, I understand, like 25 years.
It'll be 25 years next year. That will be our 25th year, yes.
How many kids do you think you might have put through your choir?
Oh, I'm really not sure, but quite a lot. We will find out more next year, because we are going to get in touch with as many as we can who've come through the choir over the years, because we'd really like to have an alumni choir sing at our final concert next year as a celebration, and some other things too. We haven't started planning, but we will be starting very soon.
That sounds awesome. So, Katrin, now how long have you been with this choir? When did you start?
I've been with this choir for 10 years now. I started when I was 5 years old.
Oh my goodness. So when you were 5 years old, what did they start you out singing?
I don't know. I started off in the junior choir. So there's two choirs. There's a concert choir and there's the junior choir. And so the junior choir is where I started off. And we did, I don't know, fun songs.
I heard you singing your warm-up, and I have to say I was thrilled. The audience is in for a real treat for hear you folks singing just a little bit. So what's it like being a member of this choir? How thrilling is it? Tell me.
It's very exciting to be part of this choir. We've done so many fun things. We've been to PICFest twice, which stands for Pacific International Children's Choral Festival. And so that's down in Oregon, Eugene, Oregon. And so we've done that twice, and that was super fun. And now we're going to New York, which is going to be amazing. I'm very excited.
I'm sure it must be. I'm sure it must be. So, Marion, I know that the choir has won a number of awards. You've done excellent work by the sound of it. Tell me about some of the awards some of the high points that your choir's career has seen.
Well, we are always involved in the music festival here, and for the last number of years, actually 6 years now, Nanaimo Youth Choir has won the provincial festival 6 years running, so that's pretty exciting. And we've been a lot of places where it's not competitive, but we've been involved with many other choirs and some wonderful composers and clinicians from around the world, and where the choristers have met other choir members from many different places and sung with them. We like to call ourselves the little choir that could, because we've done a lot of really exciting things, but never been very big. And when we go away, we are always involved with other young people's choirs who are much, much bigger than us in terms of members, but not in terms of spirit, because Nanaimo Youth Choir just has a wonderful attitude about singing, about being ambassadors for their city, their country. Just a little quick story, when it was July 1st in Eugene, Oregon, a couple of years ago when we were there, I could say that almost every American choir member, and there were hundreds of them, really wanted to become an honorary Canadian that day, because our choir just was out there singing "O Canada," and our chaperones that went with us had brought all kinds of Canadian and Nanaimo memorabilia and were putting them around. And so we've had great competitions, and we've had lots of fun, and it all comes back to music and singing together.
Well, it sounds like you folks are primed for New York City, for Carnegie Hall, and all the hearts and the wishes of all Canadians and Nanaimo people in particular go with you, and wish you knock 'em dead out there. So,
thank you. Nanaimo's been very supportive of our choir, and we'd love to thank them for that, right? Nanaimo?
Well, now I'm going to take great pleasure in introducing your choir. Your choir has got a song for us. What song is it?
It's called Songbird, and it's written by Sarah Quartel, who is a young Canadian composer.
Very good. All right, so you go ahead and get ready, and I'll tell the people a little bit about Songbird. You told me something, and thank you very much for joining us. So this song, Songbird, as Marion said, was written by a Canadian composer. Her name is Sarah Quartel, and this is a treble piece, which means there are no bass voices. So it's mostly the altos, sopranos, and so on. And it's about spring, it's about birds, it's about being happy, and as you'll see, it's a very thrilling song. And I think they may be just about ready, so I'm going to throw this over to Marion and her amazing, wonderful choir.
I am a songbird, I will sing anything. Give me a tune, I will spin you gold. Closer you come to the songbird weaving, stronger the thread of the music's fold. Feeling the breeze a breath, a soaring song to you, and hear me say, I am a songbird, I will sing anything. Follow the breeze and come my way, come my way. One little bird on a branch is fanning amber wings to the passers-by. Two little birds in flight are threading webs of gold in an endless sky. Three little birds with brushes painting moonlit skies in the height of day. Four little birds with voices gleaming breathe to the wind, singing, come my way. Sing, little birds, so sweetly. onwards to the horizon. Land meets sky and sky meets sea. Dance, little songbirds, flick your feathers, move the current, carry me. Sing, little songbirds, call to your lovers, da-da-da-da. You little songbirds, you can sing anything. I follow the wind and I come your way, come your way, come your way.
Amazing stuff there, amazing stuff. The Nanaimo Youth Choir under the direction of Marion Smith with the song Songbird here, and just making the walls ring here in the Shaw TV studios. Great stuff again. Thank you, Nanaimo Youth Choir. For more information on the group, we're again doing great music here in Nanaimo and also all over North America. Check them out online, nanaimoyouthchoir.ca for more information. So thank you guys once again for being here. Now, speaking of music, in a minute or two, we're going to have some more music from Jayden Holman, our musical guest, in 1 minute. But first, a quick note about a very hilarious sounding event coming up in Nanaimo on Friday, June 3rd. It's called the Big Lebowski. The Big Lebowski, a very ridiculous-sounding bowling tournament hosted by Brecon Lanes in central Nanaimo, inspired, of course, by the Coen brothers movie The Big Lebowski, with its cast of rather quirky characters such as the Dude, Walter, Donnie, Jesus, and much, much more. Now, the tournament consists of teams featuring 3 players, just like as in the movie, but also there's some costume prizes, so dress up like the characters, some trivia prizes, in addition, of course, to some hilarious bowling. So get all dressed up, have a great time, but please, of course, don't urinate on the rug. It's the Big Lebowski, Friday, June 3rd at Brecon Lanes, and that's starting at 7 p.m. For more information on the tournament, how to register, check out breconlanes.ca, or you can give them a shout to register, 250-753-2341. Information also right there on the bottom of the screen, too. Only then, once you register, will the dude abide. Now, a minute ago, there was a choir behind me. Now, Jayden Holman's behind me, so let's turn back over thing for another song. Jayden Holman with the song Angel. It's the show here on Shaw TV.
No need for explanation. We couldn't if we tried. Like trying to tell a blind man about a full Montana sky. But like that same old blind man, feel safe in God's backyard. I know my dreams are safe with you, tucked inside your heart. You know that when I have to go, I won't be going far. Without an angel on my shoulder, my homeward guiding star. If home is where we hang our hearts, I hang mine where you are. The angel on my shoulder, be the angel in my arms. Way back when I was drifting, before I found my way, flying blind and stuck inside Louisiana hurricane. Then one night that storm died down, you were standing there. You know that when I have to go, I won't be going far. Without an angel on my shoulder, my homeward guiding star. And if home is where we hang our hearts, I hang mine where you are. The angel on my shoulder, be the angel in my arms. Hey, no, no, yeah.
Thank you very much, Jayden. That was a wonderful song, and what an appropriate title, the song "Angel," in light of the angelic voices we heard from the Nanaimo Youth Choir just recently. So, thank you for that. And so, I have great pleasure in welcoming Dawn Anderson to the show. Dawn, welcome, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Dawn is the program coordinator for the Salvation Army. Is that something like that? Yeah, it's a Christian organization which, as everyone knows, lives its faith to the nth degree, providing many, many services to the people here. Now, I understand, Dawn, that the Salvation Army has been all of 125 years in Nanaimo. Is that true?
Just over 125 years. We celebrated that a couple of years ago, so we're on our way to 130 at this time.
Can you talk a little bit about some of the work that the Salvation Army has done in that period of time, Dawn?
Over the years, we've had a shelter of some kind. We've had our church, which is first and foremost. We've had emergency food programs, and in the last 10 years, we've had a shelter and family services where we give folks a hand up with food and clothing and shelter. And we've now got laundry facilities, we have showers, all sorts of things.
I read on your website that some of the things, the stats that for the Salvation Army, like it's in 1 year you put, I forget how many thousand meals, like 75,000 meals per year. I mean, that's a phenomenal amount of people that you feed.
It's a lot. We have a lunch and a supper program, so it's busy all the time. And they're delicious meals. We've had many doctors say it's great to have such good nutritional meals serving those who come through the doors. So the question that springs to mind with all these services that you offer, the beds and the food, and you give you haircuts, and what don't you provide? How do you pay for all that? The funding comes from numerous areas. Our thrift stores, which folks can support, helps fund the things that we do downtown. And our Christmas kettles you'll see out at Christmas time is a big part of it. And we have other fundraisers that we do, food drives and our golf tournament, all sorts of activities that we try to keep thinking of new things to do.
Yes, I love the creative slogans you have on your marquee every so often. I always look to see them. Now, I understand you've got this happening. Can you talk a little bit about this tournament that's coming up soon?
This is our 12th annual Charity Golf Classic. And this year we are at Cottonwood Golf Course, which is a beautiful course. And the nice thing about the golf tournament is that it's a fun golf tournament. It's a best ball, so you don't have to be a pro. You can just come and enjoy yourselves. We'll put you on a team, and it's the best ball, and it's 18 holes. You have a great day, and it's a great fundraiser for us.
So who could participate? Can anyone take part in it?
Anyone can. We probably not looking at children because it is an 18-hole course, but anyone can come from young to old. We've had many folks come on board with us.
So what are the dates of this great event that's happening?
The golf tournament is Thursday, June 23rd. So you can work for the morning if you need to, and tee off is at 1 o'clock. It's $175, which gives you a $30 tax receipt. Gives you your golf cart so you don't have to walk, a dinner, putting contest, prizes, an auction with great things to bid on.
That sounds like an awesome package. So, well, that's very good. So, and people that want to participate in that, the information will be on the screen. Your website is there. I encourage people to check out the website and to see some of the work you're doing, and particularly, of course, the Golf Classic.
Yes.
You encourage people to come out. You don't have to be expert golfer, you say?
Exactly, and they can just call me at the office at 250-740-1004, and I would love to hear from them, and we're still looking for sponsors and prizes.
Well, that's wonderful, Don Wilson. Congratulations on the work you're doing, and I hope you make a lot of money with this.
Thank you.
And if anybody wants to do that, I encourage them to do that, be part of it. Okay, so now I'm going to throw this over to Kasey Scott and Fitness for Kids.
Thank you, Lewis. I am so excited to be here today with my daughter, Callie Pilling, her friend, Cole Somerville, and my stepson, Cameron Pilling. We're here today to talk to you about kids and fitness and what that looks like and what that means. I want to start with a really quick little story about my other daughter who's not here today. She's 20 years old and she was my first child, and I remember being pregnant with her. And I was so excited that I was going to have my little athlete. She was going to play every sport there was to possibly play. Well, yeah, no, it didn't turn out that way. The helmet made her head itchy. She actually faked an asthma attack to get out of a soccer game. It just wasn't going the way I had it planned. So where I'm going with this is sports are fantastic. We want to encourage our kids to play sports, but there is so many other ways to be physically active. It wasn't until my daughter was about 13, 14 that she came to me and she said, why can't I just go to the gym? Why can't I just lift weights with you, do some cardio? Why sports? And she was right. It turned out about a year ago, she actually won her first fitness competition. I think we have a couple of photos that we can put up there. One of them is there we go, us doing yoga in the front yard for absolutely no other reason than to figure out what our bodies were capable of doing that day. We have another photo of her and my son at the top of Mount Benson. They thought for my 40th birthday it'd be a great idea to take Mom up a mountain. My point here is once she found her fitness passion, fitness became fun. We never want kids to think that fitness is this treacherous thing, because there's something out there for everyone, and it's finding that passion. So I'm going to take it now to my little helpers here. With that being said, whether your children are little athletes or they're just little mini weekend warriors, they ride their bike around the neighborhood, good old-fashioned exercise, that's okay. But here are some really basic little, I hate using the word testing, but fitness drills, fitness skills that you can test out on your children at home just to make sure that those body mechanics are working properly. We call this walk the plank. Let's start over here, you guys, line up. If you had a piece of tape on the floor, this would be a little bit more accurate, but this is okay. Let's go ahead, one foot in front of the other. Simple, balance. This is really hard for some people. Not everybody has these skills. Come on back. The next thing we're going to do is 2-foot jumps. Can we jump? And the focus here is landing both feet at the same time. Go ahead, guys. I want to see 2 or 3 of these. Good. Step back. You will notice, even in adults, try this at home, quite often you'll jump, but your feet will stagger when you land. So that's just a really good skill. Can you hop on one foot? We're going to improvise here. Yeah, that's a tricky one too. Hop on the other foot. A lot of young kids, that's a tricky thing to do. How about burpees? What do we got for burpees? Okay, burpees are great because your heart rate's up, and when you're sweating, it's harder to think. You got to get your mind, your arms, your legs, your whole entire body has to be functioning. All right, slow it down. Side planks, because if you are going to hit a baseball or kick a soccer ball, you need strong core. Side planks. Got Coach Cameron over here. Let's go on your side first, Cole. Side. Yeah, all right, take it to face down planks. Good, let's go to the other side. You want to hold this for about 30 seconds at home. If your kids can hold that, that's fantastic, but we're just going to keep it moving along. Stand up. Real simple flexibility. Okay, soften your knees. Can you guys touch your toes? And again, it's okay if the kids can't do these things, but maybe they're things that you need to practice and work on, not even if they're not playing sports. Stand up, just to make sure their bodies are working properly. Shoulder flexibility, one hand up, one hand behind you. Turn around, show the cameras. If their fingers can touch, that's great. They're going to be great little pictures. Try the other way around. And that's great too. All right, I'm going to get you guys just a step aside here. Good job, Callie. Good job, Cole. moving it up to that awkward teenage level. Cameron, tell me, what is the most common thing you see in high school PE classes that kids are doing wrong?
Squats for sure.
Right, and can that lead into issues when you try to become an athlete?
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah, so show me a really good squat. Butt is out, pushing up. All right, so what we see all too often in school, and when you've got like 20, 30 kids and one teacher, it's so hard to correct, is the knobbly knees. Yeah, ask your kids, your teenagers, to squat. Unless they've been taught properly, chances are this is going to happen. This is going to turn off those glute muscles, and it's just going to take away all that athletic ability and just make their body not move right. The next thing we see turn a little sideways is the heel lift. So sometimes they have tight calves, or maybe it's not a tightness, maybe it's just a lack of training. We don't want that. If you're not squatting perfectly, please don't squat, is the moral of the story. The forward bend, that's another really popular mishap. Yeah, so what we do there is, I would say there's a wall there, and I know he doesn't want to get too close to stepmommy. Squat down. There you go. So that takes away that forward bend. So again, you need to teach these kids. We got to get them doing it right, or we don't want them to do it, because it can actually build the muscle patterns not so well. So Cam, you're kind of like Carissa. You didn't really like sports as a kid?
Absolutely not. I actually remember you and my dad actually trying to sign me up for sports, and I was just like, no, I didn't want any association with sports. I did not like to exercise. Absolutely not.
And what kind of turned that all around for you?
I just wanted to be healthy, and I realized playing video games and eating bad just wasn't the answer. So I decided to eat better and, just get outside more.
So was it a little bit intimidating? I mean, at 15 years old, this kid goes out and joins a baseball team where half the kids have been playing since they're 4 or 5 years old.
It was intimidating at first for sure, but I practiced a lot at home, and now I don't feel so intimidated when I go play baseball now. So I feel better about that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So there you have it. What we're trying to get at today is allow your children to find their fitness passion. It's never, if they're not into it when they're little, they may wind up becoming into it. They may never play sports, and that's okay. As long as your body is physically moving, you're getting your sweat on every day, you're moving more than you're playing video games. Remember back in the olden days when we wanted to figure out where our friends were? We didn't text them. We got on a pedal bike, we rode around the neighborhood, and we looked for where there was a pile of bikes at the end of a driveway, and we knew that our friends were there. Thank you so much for joining us today, Cameron.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you to the kids for being here, and we're going to throw this over to the lovely Shea.
Thank you. That was awesome, very inspiring. I need to get out there. So I think we can all relate to having a childhood dream, but I believe it takes a really special person to actually make a childhood dream come true. And that's my next guest, Maggie Denhearn, who has realized her dream of writing a book. Welcome, Maggie.
Thank you.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
Having written a book myself, I know it's a huge accomplishment.
Thank you. It's time consuming.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
So tell us how, I know you were a non-fictional writer, you wrote articles and stuff, but this is your first novel, right?
It's my first novel. Should I hold it up?
Yeah, sure. Show the beauty. I love the red shoes, and you're wearing
I've got my red shoes. Yeah, my Dorothy shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I've always liked writing, but most of my writing, my fiction writing has just stayed in a box at home. And I just decided that, sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and put it out there. So when I moved to Vancouver Island, one of the things I told myself is that I actually have to have a go at writing a novel and see if I can do it.
Great. And I understand that Vancouver Island was a great inspiration for you. You based it on people you kind of saw or witnessed, or things that you saw and learned about on Vancouver Island, and it's actually set in Vancouver Island?
Absolutely. It's set in the Qualicum Bay Bowser area, and I really enjoyed having a go at describing a lot of the scenery and infusing that into the action. And I go out with a wonderful running group, and just chatting with them, hearing stories, and just observing people gave me a lot of inspiration. And when I got writer's block, I'd go with my dog down to the beach and stare at the ocean and the mountains, and it's inspiring. It's a beautiful place. There's a lot of creativity around. There's some amazing people.
Yeah, there is. There's so much energy and inspiration here, and I love that you have a bunch of themes in your book that I'd like you to share about. But I love that you took the themes and put it in a really entertaining way and made it a murder mystery, right?
Thank you. Yeah, I'd say there's for me, and I'm hoping readers will find other things, but for me there's three main themes. So it's It's a metaphysical murder mystery, which incorporates the idea of the law of attraction, so the idea that we have power to create our reality. And it was important to me to have some strong older female characters, because I know so many vibrant, amazing women in my life, and I find that generally speaking, the media and Hollywood tends to focus on younger characters. So I wanted to create something for people like me and the people that I know.
Can you see this being a movie?
I'd love it to be a movie. Well, there's conspiracy theory in it. I love the idea of conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
I don't know quite why. But yeah, so the other part of it is the plot is there's a bunch of Vancouver Island women who come together to fight the consortium, who are a bunch of powerful people who are working with a pharmaceutical company who are trying to drug everybody. So part of the idea is that we have power over our own health, and that you can live a long and vibrant life, which I see all the time on Vancouver Island. It's really inspiring.
Yeah, beautiful. So I understand that there's a sequel in the works as well.
There is. I'm about halfway through, and what we said earlier, when the universe texted, I could consider that as a title.
Fun. Good on that. So if people want to get the book, they can go to Amazon, right? It's available on Amazon, or your website, maggiedenhearn.com, right?
Yeah, I have a website, I have a Facebook page, which I'm learning to manage.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations again. Thank you so much for being on the show, and all the luck with the book. And go out and get a copy so you can find out what happens. And I'm going to throw it over to Matt.
Thank you very, very much, Shea. And once again, congratulations, Maggie, on your book. Again, When the Universe Called. Not about when E.T. phoned home. It's one of my favorite movies, one of Raymond's favorite movies too. Anyways, we're now with our musical guest here. Very glad to have him in the show. You already heard him earlier. Great performer and really built a name for himself on Vancouver and beyond. Jayden Holman, welcome to the show here on Shaw TV.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
So yeah, so stoked to have you here. Now, I do want to talk to you a bit about sort of the waves you're making in country music. Now, looking at your Facebook page, you've got like Dave Matthews, John Mayer, Elton John, Ray Charles in there. Yet country's been, and country rock's been your big thing. So where did that sort of influence come from?
So for me, like, I still love listening to Dave Matthews. I think I got like over 500 different songs by him, like all like live performance stuff, right? And so a lot of my inspiration, that's what I grew up listening to, and Bryan Adams and stuff too, is a really big influence on me. And country music kind of stumbled in because it's something that's popular right now, but also new country is very still close to rock and roll, how it used to be, right? So for me, it's something where I can go out and I can make a living and do what I love to do and keep playing music, and also now I'm falling in love with country music as well. So
yeah, it's like, putting on some clothes, it just fits right. And that's interesting. A lot of folks, they think about, of course, the craft of creating a song or singing, but the whole music business thing is something that maybe not as many musicians really get into. So you've obviously been doing a lot of work to learn about that. Yes, that was a whole different curve itself. It's funny. It's like there's the music business side of things, and there's live performance and playing and being a performer and an entertainer, and then songwriting is still a whole completely different thing. I know some of obviously the earliest music education you would have had would have been through the Wellington Secondary Jazz Program, music program here in town. So obviously now you're not playing jazz, but speak a little bit about how that in learning environment has helped craft or improve your music today. Yeah, the one thing with like Wellington that was really great for me was going through there. Carmela Livisoto, the main girl there, and Steve Jones, who always came and helped out too, they were very supportive of me also, not just playing jazz, but like they knew outside of school that I played in a couple of rock bands, and that's what I did, and they were always very encouraging. So coming into that class, in that room, it felt more like a band family, like between everyone in the jazz. Was definitely high school band was like the best experience for me. I was a band geek. I loved it. Obviously doing well there, but also, I mean, looking back now to 2012, and one of the things you accomplished there was winning an event called the PNE Star Showdown Music Contest in Vancouver. And for our viewers out there, just to get the context, some of the previous contestants have included Michael Bublé and Carly Rae Jepsen. So at 16 to win a competition like that, was that sort of a real stepping stone or moment where you said, hey, maybe I can do this? That was kind of the turning point, I would think. Like, it was very overwhelming too. My dad actually put me in there without me even knowing. He's like, oh yeah, so by the way, I submitted a video and you got into the next round to go sing at the PNE. I'm like, oh, okay. I just went in no expectations, and I ended up winning the youth category and then also winning the whole
adult out of the adults and the kids and everything. So, which got me $5,000, and that kind of got me started to get into recording and everything too, and then opened up a whole new world for me. And I just haven't looked back. And just
again,
every day.
the progression is amazing. Then we're going to get to hear some more music here in a second, but I want to let folks know if they want to check you out live, check out May 31st at the Dingy Dock Pub. Also June 2nd, a fundraiser at Evolve Nightclub for the Fort Mac fire disaster. So again, great to see you there. So check that out. People can find more about your music at jaydenholman.com. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Perfect.
That's
all right. All right,
awesome.
So check it out. All the best in the future. Let's listen to more music for you. Another song from Jayden Holman here, Dead, Red, Gone, on the show right here on Shaw TV.
Trapped down here in this dead-end shop, gotta get the bank off my back. They took my life and stole my dream. Now they wanna take my truck. Quitting time Friday, 5 o'clock, loading up this old Dodge. They can turn this parking lot upside down. I'll be dead red gone, dead red gone, dead red gone. Sitting on a dock, thinking about Otis, checking out a beauty in the bay. She was all of 17 and grown, got me all crazy and brave. 5 long years and 3 kids later, kisses turned into young. She was yelling about something, but I didn't hear. She was out of sight, already gone, dead red gone, dead red gone. Gone like yesterday and gone like Elvis, gone like a bullet from a gun. You can hang around town till the fun's all done, but me, I'm dead red gone. You can hang around town till the bar burns down, but I'll be dead red gone. Calling me dead red gone. Been a long time coming, took a long time leaving. Rocky road, it just rolls on. And I'm strung out again. Close to the end, closer to dead red and gone. Dead red gone.
Wow. Thank you, Jayden. Amazing. And wow, what an incredible talent we have on today's show, and just a taste of what Vancouver Island breeds, with all the inspiration. And so you see we're surrounded by a lot of art here, of this beautiful art behind me, and 2 amazing artists joining me today to talk about the Nanaimo Fine Art Show. So thank you for joining us, Tom Shardlow, the president of the Nanaimo chapter of Federation of Canadian Artists, and Claudia Lohman. So wonderful to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's great. So this is your work behind us here, Claudia. Tell us a bit about how you came to be an artist and how you got to be involved with the Federation of Artists.
My father was an artist, so I grew up with art always around me. So it's something total normal for me. But I started very late, about 10 years ago. And we moved to Vancouver Island. I joined the Nanaimo chapter to meet other artists. You need to be inspired by other artists to be creative as well. I love to go to shows. Every time after a show I want to start a new painting. And there's a lot of advantages because we meet every second month, and you have live critique, you have demos, you are able to show your art in art shows and make a little bit of a name for yourself. And so I highly recommend being involved with an art group.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
And so you're the president of the local chapter, and what inspired you to get involved in being in a more that kind of role?
Oh, I see. Well,
the president.
Yeah, producing, painting or making art or writing is a solitary activity. So, getting support from other people doing the same thing is really helpful.
Yeah.
So I joined the Federation as a member and took advantage of all the opportunities that they have for demonstrations and workshops, and it helped my art grow. So that's why I stepped up to volunteer to take on the president's role for a while.
Yeah, that's a huge responsibility. And do you have so this is one of your beautiful pieces right next to you. And so tell us more about the art show that is coming up on June 4th and 5th.
Sure.
And we can play, we have some images of, it's representing over 40 artists, I understand. So if you want to play some of the images of the art.
Okay. Well, this show has been in the planning stage for a couple of years, and what we wanted to do was really step it up and put on a premier show for Nanaimo, and I believe this will probably be the largest fine art show that Nanaimo has had in many years.
Wonderful.
We had 150 pieces submitted, and 68 were selected, and as you mentioned, there are 40 from 40 different artists from Vancouver Island, all the way from Victoria into Port Alberni, Gulf Islands and Northern Islands, and a wide variety of media, watercolors, acrylics and oils, pastels, mixed media, and a wide variety of subjects. So we have abstract work, there's realism, portraits of both people and farm animals, and lots of landscapes and seascapes. So I think it'll represent a very broad spectrum of the kind of talent that's here on the island. A lot of artists choose to live here, and so we're fortunate to be able to present a show like this.
Yeah, amazing. So it's a free event, I understand, at the VI Conference Center from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and people can go and just peruse all the beautiful art that is there. And I'm curious, what is your greatest inspiration, Claudia, for your art? It's so complex and rich, and I was seeing lots of animals in there.
Yeah, it is. An artist I really admire was Escher. And I would love to be able to paint like he did. But for me, it's what I think about when I'm, not dreaming, but when I'm can't sleep, and then I have to bring it on. I mostly paint on wood, so this is on wood.
Yeah.
And this is so fulfilling. You are never bored.
Yeah.
And I cannot imagine now, while I'm painting, not painting anymore.
Yeah.
This is something, it's kind of an urge to do.
Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So if you're an art enthusiast or an artist yourself, come on out, going out to June 4th and 5th to the conference center, check out the show, all the local artists. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
And blessings on your journey as artists. And can throw it over to Kate.
Thank you, Shea. We've got two cameras here. We've got multiple dimensions happening right here on the show on Shaw TV. Now, you may or may not know that one of our Access community-produced program is called Life Captured. It runs every Saturday night at 8 p.m. and every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. And it's basically a collection of beautiful images captured, bits of life captured by the Harbour City Photography Club. Dennis McMahon is a member of the HPC for short, and they have a photo salon 2016 coming up. We'll get to some details on that in just a couple of minutes. But coming off of a conversation around visual arts and painting and drawing in whatever form it might be, not so far off from photography maybe.
No, not at all. We photographers consider ourselves artists in the truest form, so that when we're making images, we're not just capturing a scene, we're also altering that scene to suit the mood that we felt when we were taking that image.
Now, you've brought some of the images here with you today. You brought in a little USB key, and we had to pick 5 because we have limited time, and I think we picked, and we're just going to let Master Control and the guys back in the control room pick an image. We'll put it on the screen, and then we'll have a look and talk about what that image means and here's one. It's a close-up of a flower. One of my favorite styles. Okay. What did you do to collect that image?
Well, that's a composite. The outer portion of that image is a flower called a whirligig, and the inner portion is a water lily. And I just combined the 2 images together to create the composite.
Okay, we're going to see what slide comes up next. I just love the image. What is it about images in photography that people fall in love with? I mean, everybody's taking pictures these days.
Yeah, I think a number of things. It can be a combination of colors, or it can be form, shape, and line. And then you get into your black and white, which is also considered quite artistic.
We have lots of shapes and lines and colors on the screen right now. That's is that Science World over in Vancouver?
Yes, that's an example of a long exposure. It's about 7 or 8 images stitched together.
Okay, so there's a lot of post-production
yes.
that's happening here. Isn't that cheating?
Yes. No.
No.
Artists, when they take a look at an image, they may leave something out that they don't particularly think is in there or should be in there from their view, or they may add something to create a better composition, and we do the same in post.
Now, some people think that all you need is a really expensive camera, and then anybody can go out and take an image, like a couple of the ones that we've seen so far.
Yeah, the cameras today are so advanced that you don't need the big expensive camera and the big heavy tripod.
You're looking at this one or our studio cameras?
Well, both. I've come to love my little point and shoot now. I was recently on a holiday and took all my images with a point and shoot, and when I put them in the computer, they're every bit as good as they would have been with a larger camera.
I think it comes down to knowing what your equipment can do in the environment and being able to assess and match
exactly
the 2 together. Okay, another image that you brought to share with us today. Let's see where the dice land and what image comes up next on our screen. I hope Dax is got his hands on the keyboard quickly enough. Here we go, architecture.
Yes. Again, this is something that you look at for perspective. You could take an image of that building, which is, by the way, the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao, Spain. You can take it from any angle, but I like the way it pointed upwards and shot to the right, so it gives you an eye flow of line and texture.
And knowing what lens to use. I mean, I've been trying to get shots today behind the scenes, and this just doesn't cut it. It's about the lens that you're using, right?
It takes practice and a lot of shooting to determine exactly what the consequences will be.
Okay. We have just about a minute left, and we're going to get wrapped up after that. And I know that we did have 2 more images to look at, so let's bring them up now onto the screen, and we can share with our viewers what this particular image is. Dax is frantically going, I'm trying in the background. When did you join the Harbour City Photography Club?
Oh, it's been about 10 years now.
Why did you join?
Well, I started out with just a small little cheap 3 megapixel point and shoot camera, and I wasn't getting much satisfaction, so I figured I've got to pick it up and learn, and the club certainly helped me in that way.
Okay, we are getting the wrap sign, and Matt's going to interrupt us any minute, but we do have a final image on the screen. That looks pretty highly edited in post. Is that safe to say?
Which one?
Oh, sorry, I should let you know. Yeah.
That's an infrared shot.
Okay.
I had a camera converted to infrared, and it's in Bowen Park. And it just gives you a different perspective on how you can take shots.
What's your current challenge in increasing your photography skills?
Oh, I've got to, landscapes and panoramas are what I'm concentrating on now.
Okay. Some details on the Photo Salon 2016 coming to the View Gallery at Vancouver Island University, May 30th right through until June the 10th. And you can go online, hcpclub.ca, and don't forget to tune into Life Captured right here on Shaw TV every Saturday 8 p.m. and Sunday at 7. Thank you for your time coming here today. And I think Matt could use some pointers.
Well, yeah,
How was your image?
It's not good at all. This is really a poorly composed shot. The lighting's not great.
It's a great photo of the floor.
Exactly, yeah. So I think I may have to join the club myself and get some pointers
Absolutely,
on there.
but that's almost like an abstract.
Exactly, there you go.
Call it that.
I'm an impressionist. I'm an impressionist. I don't do many impressions. Again, thank you, Dennis, so much for being here. Kate, thank you so much. We had to have Kate do
Ton of fun.
We had to do Kate do a photography one because she's the only one that can keep focused.
Yeah.
As we're focused. It's a camera joke. I actually only have one joke, so we gotta wrap up quickly. What does every digital photographer pirate have? A JPEG leg. Jay Pegleg. Oh man, a good raw joke. Anyways. Yeah, well, it was pretty sad indeed. Yeah, oh, just criminal. All right, anyway, so we got to move on. Thanks so much for our guests, hardworking volunteers and staff, front of the cameras, behind the scenes. Hey, if you want to be on the show, contact our executive producer and fine photographer, Kate Bergen, kate.bergen@sjrb.ca. Also, if you want to volunteer for the show, contact our volunteer coordinator, Melissa Hall, at melissa.hall@sjrb.ca. Would love to have you here on the crew. Hey, you can find out this show on Facebook, facebook.com/The Show on Shaw. Also, check out previous episodes of the show on Facebook and on YouTube as well, Shaw TV, Central Vancouver Island. So, but before we go, one more song for our incredible musical guest, Jayden Holman, a little track called Baby, It's You. Cheers. Thank you so much for watching the show right here on Shaw TV.
It's 3 a.m. and I can't sleep. Been like this almost a week. Getting out of Tennessee, praying the road will set me free. Knew I had to choose, finally had to choose. Baby, it's you. To choose coming home to you, baby, it's you. Did hard time in lots of bars, seen my share of falling stars. Beat the flames till they got higher, and I loved the heat, but I feared the fire. Baby, it's you. Choose coming home to you. Got this Silverado wound up tight, burning down the interstate and tearing through the night. Took my shot and took a hit, got the homesick blues. Without you, there's nothing left to lose. It's 5 a.m., it's getting light. Tennessee is out of sight. One more hour, I'll make Mobile. Barely hanging on this old wheel.